Alright, so it's the morning of the audition today, and I got up early today. Had a nice big breakfast consisting of eggs, steak, Greek yogurt, and a protein shake. After which I went to the gym to get ready. Gotta get a pump before I go. And yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. It's actually my first time auditioning for a kind of show like this. So yeah, I'm just gonna have fun, and yeah, best of luck to everyone, and see what happens. Hi, my name is Robert James Wood. I was born and grew up here in Los Angeles, California. Throughout my career, I've worked in a couple of different things. I've worked in sales. I've worked as an English teacher in Japan for a while, and most currently, I'm working as a television extra here in LA. And I thought it might be cool to be able to potentially mix my interests in fitness and natural bodybuilding, Japan, and show business. And best of luck to everyone. Yeah, so my primary interest is fitness and natural bodybuilding. In the past, I've also studied a little bit of JKD, which is the martial art that was created by Bruce Lee, the late great Bruce Lee. And I like lifting weights and just doing general conditioning. It's something that I enjoy doing on 5 to 6 days a week. And also the nutrition that comes along with it, and generally just living a healthy lifestyle. If I was given the opportunity to work in Japan in this industry, I would like to first spread the love of fitness and nutrition, healthy lifestyle to the masses. Maybe potentially, make a living off of this. It's something that I'm passionate about. So often I get mistaken for being half Japanese, which is understandable because I am half Asian. Ethnically, I am half Taiwanese and half Irish American. I was born and grew up here though. And yeah, I do speak a little bit of Japanese as well, if that helps. こんにちは。私の名前はロバート・ジェームズ・ウッドです。ロサンゼルス出身で2年間、3年間ぐらいで日本で住んでました。趣味はフィットネスとナチュラルボディビルディングです。これからよろしくお願いします。
Hi, so what's your name?
My name is Robert James Wood.
Hi, Robert. So how was your audition today?
Yeah, I thought it went well, just, having fun.
Nice. So what did you perform?
Today I did a natural bodybuilding pose routine. Yeah, and a little bit of martial arts incorporated into that.
So how long have you been doing martial art?
I've been doing martial arts on and off for maybe 15 years, and lifting weights and stuff is something that I'm passionate about.
Nice, sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
今日ここからスターが生まれるということですから。
今日はうどんだよって言うとみんな喜ぶ。家にあって安心。すぐに食べれていつでもおいしい家族の味方。昔も今もこれからも。なんかいい匂いするね。おかえり。食卓を支える安心の味であり続けたい。白菊のさぬきやうどん。
Girl Season 4. Please enjoy!
Music gives voice to the voiceless, efficacy to the marginalized, and a sense of belonging to the isolated and the divided. Music is contagious. It propagates ideas and disseminates information. Music is vital. It shows us what we live for and fight for. And perhaps most importantly, music creates resonance out of our diversity, empowering us in our interconnectedness. And so, let us unite with music.
So this week we are continuing our conversation with pianist Dr. Makiko Hirata. Thank you so much again for joining us.
Thank you.
So I would like to ask, we talked last week about the healing power of music and then your advocacy with climate change. Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, a seismologist there by the name of Dr. Lucy Jones. She's been an advocate for scientists working with the policy workers and also science communication in general. So she has decades of experience with the earthquake warnings. And now she was switching her focus to climate change because she thinks that the damage that the climate change can do is exponentially more than the big ones that we've been talking about for decades now. Somebody introduced us. I was fascinated by her work and what she had to say about the lack of communication and connection between scientists at the ivory tower in academia and the actual policies that get made, and how there needed to be a channel. Our idea was that music was sort of to be the translator of this channel. So her proposal was that the reason why scientists have failed to communicate their findings in such a way that leads to any meaningful change in the public's behavior or policy is because scientists are taught to be emotionally distant from their work, neutral, objective, right? And then so when they communicate about the oncoming threat, they're like, okay, this is a statistic, and this is a number. Exactly. What moves us to action, we know for sure, physiologically, is emotions. So the part of our brain that processes things like fear, joy, and also survival instincts is all emotions. But the part of our brain that processes data and knowledge is the new part of our brain that has to do with logic and attention, very, very separate. And so she thought that bringing the musicians into this communal conversation would be crucial to translating the data into emotions and moving the public and the policymakers. And so I was on board, and this was during the pandemic. So I wasn't traveling, I wasn't performing. I had a lot of time to read. And I read up on climate change, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is really bad. So now this is one of the biggest project that I'm taking on and focused on.
And more exactly, is it like you play and then
we do concerts where we introduce these pieces and then also scientific facts in between the pieces so that people will have time to process the information and the emotions during the music. We also commission works, for example, choral works, where the lyric could be an action item for public to, like bicycle instead of a car, whatever. And people learning the lyrics as they learn the piece will, this is like repetitive. And so it gets ingrained in them. But also like people come to the concert and listen to the piece, they get moved. And what we're hoping to do is to have a global competition so that we'll come up with a climate anthem that is appealing to everybody. We're lucky enough to be educated, but there are people in the world that doesn't have access to information or technology or even literacy in some parts of the world. And songs have always been a way to communicate information and disseminate information and knowledge. And so music is a very strong, powerful medium for people to be on the same page.
Most definitely. Thank you so much for sharing. But I also understand that other than your climate change project, you're currently writing a book while also contributing serialized columns and articles for publication. Could you share a little bit about your upcoming book and maybe the writing process as well?
So the book I'm writing about, this is a bit challenging for me to talk about. I've always been very conflicted about being a woman of color, being Japanese, and playing the piano. Why am I not a koto player or shamisen player? So my doctoral thesis had a lot to do with the genesis of the racism and misogyny, the tradition of Western classical music, going back to the ancient Greeks and the Bible and all these things. Academic papers only get so many readers, usually 2 digits. And so I thought that if I were to use my life as an example, and if I were to tell my story to share what I found in my doctoral research about why things are the way they are, I thought I might reach a wider audience because I think it's very, very tricky. I do all this work promoting music as a social resource, but when I say music, I don't mean Western classical music. I mean music very broadly. And Western classical music, even though I'm a pianist, has its problem, a lot of problems. And the other problem is that the tradition of Western music has become so dominant that the music industry, almost every music that we have access to today has some kind of influence, and the way we relate to these music has some kind of influence from the ideology that's being permeated through Western classical music. And so we must come to terms with where these biases have become woven into our practice of music before we can fully utilize the power of music for our social good.
Out of all the things you said, your project, your book, what do you think is was the hardest thing you had to overcome, or like you would have to overcome in the future?
I think my internalized racism and misogyny. So the message that you get, even from the clothing you wear to the way people expect you to smile or when you laugh, how you laugh. You get these social pressure to conform yourself to the stereotype. And it's very, it's very difficult to realize how much of a damage that can do to your confidence and to your faith in your ability to be yourself. And so I was lucky enough, I had a lot of support, and I think I've come to terms with these things. And I think, those of us lucky enough to get on the other side have the obligation to share what you've discovered with the others.
Ready to explore media scenes with Creative World.
From cameras to editing, hosting, and beyond, let's level up your skills and carve a path to that dream job.
We are here to cheer on everyone pursuing with their entertainment dreams.
So drop us a message at the link below and let's ignite your media journey.
It has been sung in Japanese, and of course it's been sung in English thousands of times, but this mixing of languages has never been done, and it's a whole new ballgame. First of all, it's a great story. It's incredibly moving. It doesn't matter if you come and you only speak English or you only speak Japanese, you're gonna understand every word. Our whole mission here is to make opera accessible, affordable, and entertaining. And I think this one, in a very different way than the other things we do, hits the mark with that. I love Madame Butterfly. I would do it 1,000 times again. Come see it. It's going to be different than you've ever seen it, I promise you that.
Next, Godzilla alert.
Alright, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Godzilla vs. Megalon comes the Godzilla Store exclusive Godzilla 1973, Metallic Jet Jaguar, and Metallic Megalon. There's no shortage of Shin Godzilla. We have the Godzilla Store exclusive Moonlight Shin Godzilla and the Shin'Yun Universe Copper and Metallic. And now we have, for the very first time from the Super Nintendo Super Godzilla video game, comes the character Bagin in the movie Monster series. Definitely very, very cool to have him. We also have the return of an 8-inch movie monster series, Mechagodzilla Kiryu from Tokyo SOS. Returning from the 50th memorial box is the 1955 Godzilla in a new grayscale color and a new sculpt for the Anguirus 1955. Ebira and Baragon gets new sculpts. We have a chocolate Hedorah, a crawling Hedorah, kind of a land form Hedorah, and a summer colors for Hedorah. 1975 Godzilla and Titanosaurus also make a return from the movie monster series. And we have a new sculpts in the Heisei series. So we have Mothra 1992, Batra 1992, we have King Ghidorah 1991, very, very gold. And we also have the Rose Biollante for the very first time a Bandai figure. King Ghidorah here is the new sculpt compared to the older one, and actually looks pretty nice. I think Batra and Mothra are good, but the paint kind of is lacking. So of all these, I think Rose Biollante is the one that stands out the most. It even has a lot of articulation for a movie monster series. Alright, we also have more Heisei. We have Fire Rodan getting a new sculpt, as well as the Mechagodzilla 1993 and the Godzilla Store exclusive Super Mechagodzilla. Very interesting that there's a ton from the Heisei line. From Godzilla Final Wars comes Godzilla 2004 and new sculpts for Monster X and Manda, Kaiser Ghidorah, and Hedorah 2004. Now Hedorah is definitely a great looking one for, in my opinion. So it's really nice to see new sculpts. From the art exhibition event exclusives come this Godzilla 1954 maquette from Bandai, as well as this 1991 Godzilla coin delivery parking version. So it's like a parking lot street artist for this kind of blue Godzilla. But the maquette is definitely very, very nice and exclusive to Godzilla the art, as well as the coin parking delivery version of 1991. Very, very nice. Kind of trying to and then here is some more of Godzilla -1. This is the Big King O, or Kaiju King series, so you can see the size difference.
Hi everyone, it's Wachiruna with NSLE, your guide to upcoming movies. I've got exciting news. Inside Out 2, directed by Kelsey Mann, is due out on June 14th this year. The anticipated sequel to Academy Award-winning film jumps 1 year ahead following the events of Inside Out. Pixar is about to explore the teenage mind. Riley was 11 years old in the original, and now she turns 13. As she enters her puberty, Riley has a wide range of new emotions to deal with. Two groups of teenagers who don't get along take a journey together to save Riley. At first, they annoy each other. Joy and the gang aren't sure how to feel about Anxiety joining the crew. Later, they develop a bond as they realize Riley needs all of them together. The trailer was a huge hit on TikTok with 78 million views on the platform.
Our little girl's growing up so fast. Ow. Sorry.
It should be nothing but smooth sailing from...
Hello. What's your name, big fella? That's embarrassment. Welcome to headquarters, embarrassment.
Pixar gives us a preview of the changes that Riley is going through as she enters the world of adults. Anxiety is a brand new emotion that changes Riley's life overnight. It makes her figure out who she is and experiment with the things that draw attention to her. She's exploring her relationships with peers and her family. The trailer is so popular mainly because Pixar is introducing Anxiety, played by Maya Hawke. It's unclear what madness will mean, but anger was already an emotion in the original Inside Out, and it was played by Louis Black. Bakestar confirmed that Amy Poehler, the former Parks and Recreation star, would be back as Joy. Diane Lane will reprise her role as Riley's mother, and SAG award-winning actress Phyllis Smith is returning as Sadness. Liza Lepira from The Equalizer joined the cast as Fear and Disgust. So Inside Out 2 is a great movie for teenagers and anyone who is going through the emotional crisis. Most likely it will be streamed on Disney Plus after the exclusive theatrical run. But we don't know yet when this will happen. It was Watch It or Not with Inessa Lee. Check out my YouTube channel for more upcoming movies. See you next week on Creative World.
watching Creative World.
Tradition is tasted, resplendent with grain. Sips of time slip through light. I'd hold this taste to feel forever. It pours a century of wisdom. It pours a generation of legacy. Sourced from a sacred mountain, it rises. How many ways can this taste dazzle in days? This taste lives forever.